Hello everyone, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to Heat Death Survival Train. In the last episode, we arrived to this station, we went up and explored the lab, and we also explored the rest of these buildings at the station. Now, we have explored everything here, so it is time to move on down the track. So first, let's get in the train. And then let's turn these lights off, turn the engine on, and start moving. There are no drones until our next stop, so we can just sit here and look out the windows. So before we head off to the next area, there are actually these scavenger drones. We ignore them at the 4th station, but I think here we will try to get some of their loot. So I will drop an item which should bring them over, and then we can shoot them down. So first I've got to find the first one. Looks like the first one's just now. I can actually shoot it from here. So they should just all be one hit when they come over here. There's one. There's two. 3. And 4. So, haven't got anything interesting really yet. Just a lot of smart material, and tech scrap. So I doubt we'll find anything useful out here, but still good loot to get all this material. So, you can probably see it through the trees over there. But this first area that we're coming up on is a track switch station, where we can take different paths along the track. And we will need to explore this to make sure we stay on the right track. Okay, so let's get inside this track switch building, and what we can see right now is the track is currently taking us to the right. The right path will take us all the way to the end of the game, which is the dome, but we do not want to go there quite yet, so we will instead go to the left, as there are 2 additional areas plus another track switch that we can check out. We've got a blueprint, some energy drinks and smart material, and another blueprint, and then we want to change the track path. And then there's also these lockers by the door, which I forgot coming in. We'll just take the ice ammo, we'll take that first aid kit, and that material. And then we will get moving. I believe a storm is about to come, so let's move quickly. In fact, I think it has just started. We can actually check our weather control panel, and yes, a storm has just started. We do have enough power though to make it to the next area, so we will just wait out the storm, and while we wait to get to the next area, I will organize my inventory. We've just entered the tunnel, which will actually take us under the other track, I'm pretty sure, and to the next area. we can actually see the next area coming up now, seeing that light, which is at pretty much every station and every other area, so we are not far. And we have just exited the tunnel. I've also done a little reorganization. I've added 2 more chests here and moved the food and health chest right next to the crafters and growers. So this is the next area, the solar farm. And I am actually going to make the run over and into here. And I've just realized I've forgotten something very important, so I'm actually going to have to go right back because I need to scrap a power cell. So we're going to go right back and we will just take one of these, scrap it, get moving again, over to here, repair this, and then we can go inside. So let's see what we've got in here. So we've got an electronic component, some smart material, and scrap, battery, and solar plates to make another solar panel. And then it looks like we've got our advanced capacitor back, as well as all this extra material, smart material, and another blueprint. We'll then get all this, and as we are now too heavy, we will wait out the last minute or so of the storm and then go right back to the train. It is already clearing up, and in just a few moments we will be able to safely get back to the train. Okay, we're back on the train, and we are going to build back the... hold on. Oh yeah, we'll build back the power cell that we scrapped. And there is not much here left, as this is a pretty small area. So we will get moving on to the next area, which is actually another station just up there, if you can see it from here. So we will get going. We are now going up onto the bridge, and there it is, station 67 right over there. We'll move our train inside later, but first we'll go check into here to see what we get. This appears to just be a habitat, so let's see what we've got. Material, good to start. Energy drink, more lockers with small batteries and material. Something under here, some seeds. Then, looks like lights are out up here. So, here we've got first aid kit and material, blueprint, tech scrap. This looks like a pretty good view. And then we'll move on down here. Much more material. And then in here, I already see a locker. Another locker with a lot more material. And isoflame. How much material did we end up with here? 21. So I've got to make the walk back to the station. Well, I mean the train and the station. We'll bring the train inside, and then we'll explore the buildings on the other side. New structural modules unlocked. Let's see what we've got. First, turn the engine off. So it looks like we've got Let's see. Platforms. Yes, we can add platforms onto our train, but as you can see, we are only using this first car plus this stairs. So I'm not quite interested in that, but I might show it off at the end of the series anyway to try it out. And we'll check all of these lockers first with a lot of material. What else do we have? Over here, we've got circuit board material, a whole lot more material. And let's see. I know we can craft some things. We can make some food, med kits, and we can also make a solar panel. So let's see what we need for that. Make a solar panel, we need a power core, which I actually think we'll find somewhere here. I just saw that. First we'll these. One thing I do want to do though is make a heating rod. So let's craft that. Okay, so just before we move on, I have crafted another heater for the back of the train, which should allow us to move freely throughout the train during storms now, without freezing. And now, let's move on over to here. So, I believe we've got 3 buildings along here. First, we'll check this habitat. Where we've got some material. Not much else. A small battery. Cartridge. Storage. Let's see what we have. A lot of material. And find fission fuel. Weapon chip. Electronic components. So we've got everything here. Let's move on to this room. A lot more material. Blueprints. And then there's this locked door, which just leads to the outside. My inventory is already full, but we will keep going on. Actually, we will not. I need to make a jump. So we'll just drop it right here. Okay. Made the jump, and yeah, just comes right out that side there. We'll get to here. Got a variety of loot. I do not believe there's a way to get into that room, so it looks like, oh, there's the power core. And yeah, like I was saying, I do not believe there's a way to get into that room at the moment. So we will go around and then up to this last area here, which is the control center. So we'll go right here, get all this here. This looks like a lot of material that we'll have. Yep. And I'm too heavy again. This is going to be a nightmare. So we'll drop that. And we've got one more building. That does not go anywhere either at the moment, pretty sure. I think this just goes right back outside, which is correct. So now we've got everything here. we'll go back to the station, make some final train upgrades before going on to the last area, which is another track switch and actually pretty far up. And then can I just walk onto here? I think so. I can. I think. No fall damage. So the last area is just a track switch station. So it shouldn't take long to explore that, but it will take us quite a while to get there actually. So after I put this all away, we will head right there. I've gone back and I've got that material we put down. And it is now time for a storm, apparently. But it is now time to make that last solar panel. So we'll put that down there. Need to drop quite a few things, and let's just first make sure I can actually build it. I cannot. Everything I need, I've put away. So let's grab this, plus the 2 smart material I need. There's 2 right here. We'll put a lot of this extra material away then. And then we'll build that 4th panel. So this is everything we need, except a mechanical part. So let's get what we need for that. I believe I need... Well, actually, I think this is all I need. So, nope. I need 1 more smart material, which I am sure I have right here. Here. Not here, I guess. There. So, let's put this on top of the train. We'll do some moving around to try and... Let's see. Oh, there we go. Right on the edge. Almost took the roof out under my feet. And then we'll do the same thing right here. Here should work. So everything is now in place. We'll move this antenna right back up here. And then, just before we go, let's check the durability on these, as we did just travel a lot. We're fine on everything. And so now, once this storm ends, we'll go to that 2nd track switch. Alright, so the storm has just ended. I'm just finishing up some crafting before I move on. Let's also do a quick save. And then we'll take this battery too. This as well. And let's get going. Our power is at full. We'll turn our lights off. And we'll move straight ahead. Just go right on over. We'll stop the train. Here's the barrier. We'll go back and perform the switch, and then we'll take our train back to the dome, and I think we'll call it there. So, similar to the other track station, except there's nothing in these 3 lockers. Nothing of use anyway. We'll take this, we'll switch the track, And in here we've got dense material and some other materials. We'll get right back to our... Hold on. The track was actually right. So let's switch it again. And there we go. We can now go back to the dome. We are coming up on the entrance to the dome, so I'm going to get back inside the train quickly so I can stop it. And as we go back up into the dome, the doors open, we'll go up, and once we get up top, I will stop this train from moving right now. Bit too far, so we'll just move forward a little, and then we'll stop. Well, everyone, we'll explore this dome in the next and last episode. So thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Have a nice day, and goodbye.